is Tanay. I am from India. Guys, we are here. My name is Tanay. I am from India. I am doing my Masters in System Control Robotics at KTH, and this is my team, Machine Missouri.
I'm Connor from Ireland. I have a background in politics, education and the NGO sector.
My name is Ngoni Nyabade. I'm from Kenya. My background is in business administration and management.
My name is Louise. I'm from Stockholm. My background is in marketing and communication.
My name is Anna. I'm from Stockholm. And my background is in medicine, and more specifically pediatrics.
Hi, I'm Siri, and I have a background in culture and media communication.
So, we are team Machine Missouri here, and we are here to present the challenge given to us and the solution we came up using design thinking process. So, as you see, as the other team also explained, water is a precious source of living being in Stockholm. It's not just the identity to which the Stockholm is known in the world, but also as the source of well-being and recreation to its citizens. But a growing population in Stockholm is putting a lot of pressure on the quality of water here. Stockholm Start, from their side, are doing their best to make sure that the water which we get is of the best quality. Stockholm Start with Ericsson has collaborated together on the digital demo initiative and are placing sensors across the Stockholm and monitoring the quality of water continuously. But as the citizen of Stockholm, it's our duty as well to make sure that the water is good. We have to activate ourselves, educate ourselves to make sure we conserve the water for our future generations. So the focus of our project is more towards the citizens and how we can educate them about the water in Stockholm. You see our team name is Machine Missouri, which means good water in Swahili. So more focus towards the quality of the water. Keeping citizens in mind, Stockholm Start gave us the challenge. How continuous water monitoring help us engage people in Stockholm with water quality. We took this challenge and we pushed this through design thinking process. You can see it's a long process. It took a lot of time. We came up with a lot of ideas, did a lot of interviews, and there were some interesting things which we came out with the interviews. So before going forward, I want to ask two questions to all of you here. First question, interesting one. Where do you think the drinking water of Stockholm comes from? Anyone? Yeah, exactly. And another question I want to ask is, what do you think about the water quality in Stockholm? If it is good, thumbs up. Go bad, thumbs down. There are people with there are people who knows the reality here, I think. So these are the questions we asked to the people of Stockholm here, and we got some interesting insights in that in the interviews. First of all, it's like people don't know, most of the people don't know that the water comes from Malawi. I did personally an interview with a girl. She is living in Stockholm for a very long time, and according to her, it comes from somewhere North Pole. you like boil the water and it comes to our home. There are also so many people who think it comes from the groundwater. It's not from the Malawi. So this is something people are not aware of. Another thing is, what we found is, in general, people think that the water quality of Stockholm is very good. As I saw, most of the people think the water quality is very good. But what I am telling is, it varies. So there are natural circumstances, unnatural circumstances, which varies the water, and people don't know about this. It's not always good. So this is what we took in our project also. And the lastly is, everybody thinks that somebody else is taking care of the problem. I threw cigarette butts on the road, I put medicines in the sink, and there is somebody who is taking care of the problem. I don't care about this thing. But this is wrong. Whatever we do in our daily activities affects the water quality, and this is something we want to put in front of the project. We took all these ideas, we took all these insights, and we formed our goal for the project, which is the citizens of Stockholm need new, intuitive ways to gain empowerment through awareness regarding the water status. Because the general picture of good water is not the general picture of good water quality is not always in line with the reality. we took this statement as a goal of the project, and we again pushed it through design thinking process. Took 2 months and came up with a lot of ideas, and we prototype, tested it, and all those will be explained by Siri now.
Yes. So, quite early on in our process, we found 3 words that we wanted our concept to embody. We wanted to visualize the problem, we wanted to educate people, and we wanted to activate people. And using the design thinking process, which tonight I talked about, we came up with 5 concepts. And you can read more about those concepts in our report if you want later, or we can talk about them more later. But we evaluated all of our concepts, and we thought some more and discussed and thought some more, and we ended up with our final concept, which is Stockholm water tap. It's a drinking fountain that can be found around the city and provide fresh, clean and healthy drinking water to anyone at any time. And here's a short introduction video of a possible interaction with the drinking fountain. drinking fountains a good solution to our challenge to engage the citizens of Stockholm with water quality? Well, first of all, we think it connects very well with the Stockholm identity. Stockholm today is very much water everywhere, and by offering drinking water also to everybody, everywhere for free, that fits nice with the image of Stockholm. Secondly, it's a good way to raise the awareness that what you see is what you drink, and to make people aware of that the water in Stockholm actually comes from Mälaren. And if people knew that, it would be easier to engage them in also taking care of Mälaren and the water quality.
Thirdly, drinking water fountains is something many people actually ask for. According to a survey made by Norrvatten 2016, the lack of drinking fountains in Stockholm today is actually one reason behind that people buy a lot of bottled water when they're on the go in the city. And bottled water puts an extra pressure to the environment and the water quality, both by transport and by littering. And there are no drinking fountains in Stockholm today. We went out searching for them, actually. We found 10, some of them in quite odd places, like this one, somewhere between bike lane and bike parking places close to Spårvagnshallarna. Another one, like this one, was in the middle of the pond, but I guess you've never seen it. And for those who actually saw it, you can see in the middle that they are not very well kept. They were closed in the middle of October. There's a lot of leaves and cigarette butts in it, so not very inviting to use. So, by putting drinking water fountains around in Stockholm, we think this is a very good way of it's an easy way to reach out to people, offer them, ask for a valuable service to drinking water in the city, and also start a discussion on what you as a citizen can do to contribute to a better water quality.
Well, this image represents our creativity process in trying to help citizens visualize, activate them, and being engaged in improving the status of water. And we wanted to make them interact with the water drinking fountain. We wanted the drinking fountain to identify with the Stockholm city, and we wanted them to visualize how water gets to them. And this took us to the field again to test it and ask them questions on ideas that they could contribute to help us make the drinking fountain identify with the city, engage them, and to help them see. And these three sections represent, first, we wanted them to have a screen which they could interact with the drinking fountain before they get the water, have sculptures around the drinking fountain, and have see-through pipes which they could see how the water is being filtered. But since the whole ideation process is based on meeting the user needs, we used their feedback to develop a final design which did not include these faces based on the feedback that we received. Instead, they told us that they want that the drinking fountain should be informative in a non-demanding way. So we thought of showing just the section with information instead of having screen which they'll have to press and see much more details, which will take some time from them. So they wanted to be fed easily. They also wanted timeless, this drinking fountain to be timeless and inviting. For that reason, we recommend that the city planners, urban planners work together with people who will develop these fountains so that they stay over years, so that we don't have the case like we have seen that after some time the drinking fountain become isolated due to urban development. And also, they want something that will be free for everyone so that they don't have to buy bottled water, which will compete with the drinking fountain, and to connect it to the Stockholm identity so that there'll be a good feeling about drinking the Stockholm water, because we notice that feeling is very important for people to consume these. Hygiene was also very important, and the last section was to use this drinking fountain as a way of informing people. So in addition to the incentive of getting free water, they also get to learn much more about where their water comes from and what they can contribute to improve the status of water. The next presenter is going to take you through the design.
So from there, we started to actually sketch our final prototype. And you can see here, we designed it in 3 levels. A granite base, which represented the bedrock of Stockholm. A transparent water tank, which represented Mellerin and the water cycle. And this was topped by what we suggested to be a bronze silhouette of the city skyline. expensive, but bear with us. And we chose these materials because they're historically important to Stockholm, going back to the sense of feeling and attachment. However, we wanted to revitalise these materials and make people think of it as a public art scheme or a public sculpture. The granite base itself would have 3 taps at 3 different levels, so the water would be accessible to everyone. We even included a tap for dogs. The water tank itself is of course transparent, and it would be in constant circulation, again to represent the water cycle. And crucially, it means the pipes would not freeze in winter, so water would be available all year round. The bronze skyline, again, we wanted it to be recognisable to Stockholmers, bronze being a Stockholm material. As a tourist in Stockholm, you see statues, Millie's Gordon, things like that, and it would be an engaging sense of familiarity to citizens. And essentially we see the function of this water tap being a public good, but perhaps also a good example of implementing things like the UN Global Goals number 6 in urban settings, whereby this could be a good example of promoting awareness of good water quality and sustainable water management. It's also a crucial engagement tool for CSR projects, corporate social responsibility projects for Stockholm City and also Ericsson. This being one of them, to do with the sensor that Ericsson has installed with real-time data. The water tap would also include an information post, which would have real-time data and information regarding ongoing projects from Stockholm Stad and their climate department. So Anna will now tell us a little bit about the accompanying projects that could support the water post.
Yes. So, how can the concept Stockholm Water Tap be brought to the citizens of Stockholm? We suggest that the city has an information campaign advertising that they're planning to place these drinking fountains around the city and inviting the citizens to use them. The information campaign should also contain information about the water quality and that the city, in collaboration with Ericsson, is measuring the water quality continuously. It should also give information on what affects the water quality and what citizens can do to improve the water quality. And the same information will also be provided on information signs, which are posted by the water taps, where you can read a little bit more. We also suggest that the city sells refillable water bottles, and they contain a message in the bottle where you can also read more. Regarding the water quality, the measurement of the water quality and what citizens can do to help improve the water quality. We also suggest that there is a web page which has more extensive and detailed information where you can read more if you're more interested on the more details of the water quality that comes from the sensors. We suggest that these Stockholm water taps are placed in strategic places around the city, close to the water, in parks, at points of interest, or in places where many people are moving. And this should be done in collaboration with urban planners, so that these places will be strategic also in the future as the city grows. And this is just one example of what it could look like.